What do you do with your hands when you're presenting or performing public speaking? This is a big question where we are stood on a stage all alone and we do this. This is one way of dealing with it. Okay, which is really not a good look, at least for me. The other thing that happens is jazz hands. And we know what that is. So where anytime we know we're supposed to gesture and anytime we want to emphasize a point, we go, right? Which is a little bit startling and doesn't really come from our authentic voice, our authentic message. It's a nervous thing we think we should do. If we have a podium or a table, we may tend to grip that podium and lean on the table and use it for support. Now we can use the podium and we can use the table, but how can we do it in the best way? So this is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm S.J. Harrison, voice and performance coach. I'm an actor and I have over 20 years international performance and producing experience. And this has been a journey for me too. So if you're an actor, you might have a slightly larger range of these gestural tics, but you might just want to think, am I relying on something stale sometimes? Or is it coming from the moment and really coming from what I want to express? So just to give you an idea of some of those gestures that can happen with actors, there's this, there's this, there's this, and there's this, right? There he is, my lord, right? So in rehearsal, woof, let's lose that plant almost. In rehearsal, that's because I'm a very gestural person, and I'm a wild gesturer. It is good to start to build in the gestural repertoire you're wanting to use. So how do we do this if we're just presenting or public speaking? And I say just, because that's a big thing and people feel a lot of anxiety about it. The first thing is, if you've seen any of my other videos, going back to observation and curiosity. So also leaning into pleasure and enjoyment. When do you enjoy communicating and with whom? And then notice what those gestures are like when you're enjoying what you're doing. Observe yourself and go, oh yeah, I do that a lot. And oh, when do I do that? What does it mean? What am I sort of saying? And notice if your gestures are going with your vocal delivery and that it's an organic experience. So this is how we can develop that. The other thing is, it's okay to be a minimal gesturer. Sometimes you might discover, and you might reflect, my family are quite reserved and our gestural repertoire is minimal. And that's fine. That's just an example. You might find there's an impactful lean when you really want to engage. You might find there's that one gesture that sums up the point. And that's fine too. So really noticing what you tend to do naturally and building on that is a great way to start. And again, I will direct you to my website because I have a whole free series on there, Foundations of Performance, that you can access from the homepage. And I have a whole lesson that goes into gesture in a lot more depth. sjharrisoncoach.com. And here's to unlocking your performance power.